I wanted to touch on maximizing your networking opportunities. So my top tip with that is actually a tip I learned from a great lady called Jenny Smith, who's a networking strategist. But Jenny talks about when you go to a networking event, it's really good if you can actually put a meeting in beforehand or afterwards, so that you maximize your time. So one of the things I've had to do recently is look at my time and where it's going. And I recently just did a random audit of a week in my diary. Okay, in that week I had 8 networking events that I'd booked onto. And I was actually quite shocked at that number of events because I thought, oh, well, I don't do that much networking anymore. But that was just one week. And when I sat down and became quite strict about what I was doing, I saw that only 2 of those I needed to attend and 6 of those could go. And what that made me realize is it is important to think when you're networking, why are you going? What are you intending to get from that event? Are you hoping to touch base with, familiar faces? Relationship building and network marketing is really powerful. So is that what you're going for? Are you hoping to meet a certain amount of leads? Are you hoping to tell people about a particular product you've got or service coming up, or something you want to raise their attention of? Are you really taking into account all of the costs? So for instance, if I bought myself a cocktail at every networking event I went to and it was £10, for instance, that could be £80 in a week that I would spend just on cocktails. And that's just one drink. For instance, if I get a taxi to that networking event, that might be £5 to £7 in an Uber, and in an isolated purchase, it doesn't seem that much. But again, if you're getting a taxi there and back, that could be £14. So already you might have spent, £24 just on a drink and some taxis, or petrol or parking fees or things like this. So actually, Jenny's got a really good point about getting all of those networking things together and trying to do one back to back. For instance, if they're both in the same area within an hour and you can go from one event to another. I did this recently. I went to do some networking in Teesside for the Women X Festival, as I shared earlier, and I actually built a whole itinerary around that Women X Festival, where Joel, my colleague, and I went and we did some filming in Durham. We did a whole day of different activities to maximize our potential of meeting people while we were in the area. So I think it's really important to think about where you are spending your time. Are the networking events you're going to worthwhile? And sometimes it's okay to actually leave groups that you're already in, because what will happen is sometimes you need to go to another level, or you need something else, something different. So I've started to think about all the things I'm paying into. I recently joined the Chamber of Commerce and I am absolutely loving it, and that has meant that I've been able to actually cancel a lot of other networking activity because the leads and the business contacts and the connections and the profile raising of the chamber for me has been much more valuable than some of the other activities I've been involved in previously. If you have a top networking tip, or if you have an event that you love to go to, please drop it in the comments. I always love to hear other people's perspectives.